everyone, Lord Master of Sotek here. I thought instead of doing another quick battle tonight, just to get something out, a lot of people lately on live streams and stuff have been asking me to revive the Q&A series. So what I thought I would do is use this opportunity to kind of search through a couple little questions on my Discord, if I can find any decent ones, and then once we're done with that, we'll kind of pick a subject for next time, and we'll pick something a little bit unusual this time. Looks like there hasn't been any questions on the Discord for quite some time, but well, you know what, let's do this instead. Let's talk about changes that they've made recently, or announced. So for the dwarves, we have giant slayers incoming, which is pretty fantastic news, honestly. Giant slayers are one of those things that I have definitely been pushing for quite a long time. Of course, when I did my Future of the Dwarves video, I said, you know, I was kind of leaning towards more of the hero variant of a dragon or demon slayer. But the unit of the giant slayers actually works a lot better for what I had in mind, because they are essentially the reason I wanted them. The Demon Slayer or the Dragon Slayer was so that you could have a really hardcore, armor-piercing, anti-large character to deal with like dinosaurs and dragons and other monsters like that. It actually works better to have a unit like Giant Slayers, because then you have the ability to not only surround the monster, but you also won't suffer from that classic dwarf problem of just getting slapped around all the time. So really fond of that change. For the Skaven, they've announced that they're revamping the food mechanic, which is fantastic, because that is a terrible mechanic right now. It is not only the problem with it isn't that it's super bad, it's more of that it's quite punishing for something that you have very little control over, because the only way to get the food resource now is to get the pasture settlements, which I'm sure all of you have noticed if you play a Skaven campaign and you play as anyone but Skrulk. Getting your hands on a pasture can be incredibly difficult, like frustratingly difficult. Skrulk is the only one who starts off near one, so you know he has an actually decent playable campaign, and the other two are just eh. So to my understanding, they're going to be adding it into like more buildings or the tech tree and some other stuff. So you'll be able to do way more to be able to stabilize the food in your empire, which will actually allow the Skaven to expand really fast. One thing that I wonder about is that if this will affect the Skaven AI as well, because in my opinion, in the current builds, the Skaven are probably the weakest AI faction, like the one that needs the most help. I'm sure some people would say like Beastmen can be pretty bad sometimes, but at least they keep spawning, so you have a decent chance to run into them, and there are ways that they could hopefully be fixed that we'll look at in the future. But Skaven, like they're supposed to be a major power. You know, you should have Clan Mulder completely threatening Kislev and the Norskins. You should have Skaven Blight probably dominating Istalia and Tilia, and taking those over fairly early in the game. You know, they should be really active empires that are a threat, and right now that is just not the case, because if they also suffer from the food mechanic, the AI is basically functioning at a deficit the entire time. But it also doesn't help that the way the Skaven works right now, the way they build armies is not great. So still working on that. The final change that they have announced is monster hunts for Norska. 4 new monster hunts. There's a Carnosaur and a Ragnarok a Carnosaur, a Hell Pit Abomination, a Flame Phoenix, and the Hydra. They all look pretty fantastic. They look huge from the little clips we've seen of them. I can't wait to see what their unique gimmicks are. I know. Sorry, I'm yawning so much. I'm on drugs trying to help me feel better. But it will be interesting to see how their unique mechanics work, because one thing I really enjoy about the monster hunts and why they're kind of a favored mechanic of mine is that each of them has a really unique gimmick. You know, where Blowguard the Mad Titan has that, you know, ridiculous explosion that does tons of damage, or you have the the frost worm that summons like constant tornadoes. You have the dragon ogre that summons lightning storms around himself and the other Shaggoths. So adapting them to the new world is not only going to give you a reason to go there, because presumably the monster hunts will be in the new world. So not only will you have a reason to actually go over there as the Norskins beyond just, raiding, but it will also presumably, hopefully they're going to be super hard, like late game fights. Like the Frostworm and the Shaggoth are fairly easy battles, but if you head south to fight like the Arachnarok or the Forest Dragon, like those fights tend to be a little bit more intense. So anyway, so that's pretty much all the news we've heard from CA so far. It's looking like the DLC and Norska are probably going to be a late May release, seeing as they haven't officially announced it yet. Like, we all know it's coming, but they have not officially given us a date or even told us what the DLC is. So it's likely that we're looking at a fairly late release day for those. Back to the Q&A stuff. So I've kind of been thinking for a little bit about what the best subject would be. We could, of course, one thing that we could do is, instead of having a particular subject, it could just kind of be an all-comers and then returning to just sort of like a weekly series where we cover different videos or topics. I'm pretty tempted to do Chaos Dwarfs because I've been on a bit of a Chaos Dwarf stint lately. So that might be what we do for this one. Yeah, let's go ahead and say that for the Q&A video, we're going to do Chaos Dwarves. The only other thing I want to talk about outside of that is just kind of a few updates. One, I am going to post my Twitter info down in the first comment. A lot of people, it's a decent amount of people have followed me, but I'm trying to use it more now, because I'm wanting to stream on YouTube and on Twitch, but for different things and at different times. And I think the best way to quickly communicate with everyone instead of the Discord would be the Twitter. Of course, I'll use both, so I'll put the Discord as well. So if you're on the Discord server, or if you're on the Twitter account, or Twitter following me, that you can use either of them to get a message. Of course, if you follow me on Twitch or YouTube, you'll also see those. Lately, we've just kind of been playing Heroes of the Storm on Twitch, and I'm wanting to start a campaign soon on YouTube. Of course, we'll do quick battle series as well, but I'm hoping to just start a pretty simple campaign, maybe do 30-minute episodes, maybe an hour. Just kind of feel it out and see how things are going. I hope to get an actual schedule going, but if there's one thing y'all have probably learned from this point, if you've been here a while, is that scheduling is not my strong suit. And with the meds I'm having to take right now, due to being ill, it's even harder because I am awake at very small periods of time. But in any event, that's going. Hopefully I'll be better sooner rather than later. Other than that, not too much. I hope you're all doing well. I might do a video kind of doing a more in-depth, like, what's going on in life. I don't know if anyone would really care for that, but my favorite YouTubers do it, so that might be something I consider doing. In any event, I also hope to be starting a new series on Twitch. I'm kind of thinking of picking up an RPG to start from scratch, and maybe just do a full playthrough with the people who are there. I've been watching playthroughs of Pillars of Eternity, which look pretty solid, actually. The first one. Obviously the second one comes out, I think, in like 5 days, but if I'm going to play through the series, I'm one of those people that, I would probably rather play through the first one than the second one, even though the first one's a little dated, but it looks like it's held up extremely well as far as like playability goes. So if any of you have any RPGs you would recommend as far as, it being extremely fun, or, needing a decent amount of time to play through, something that just takes time and is fun to watch as well as play, that would be, the preferred thing. Also hoping to get into like a dedicated day for Vermintide every week. Hopefully we can make that work. But, all these things are kind of up in the air, and I'm kind of in that stage where I'm trying to trying to get my life into some better straits, especially for the summer season. You know, for many of us, college is wrapping up this week or next week, and I need a lot of stuff to do over the summer, and I'd like to focus a lot more on streaming and build that into a major component of what I do. But first I gotta, of course, get healthier, but, you know, we'll squeeze in little streams when we can. In any event, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to leave your questions about the Chaos Dwarves either down below in the comment section. You can tweet them at me, or you can go on to the Discord, which I'll have a link to down below, and go to the Q&A section and leave your question there. And some point this week, or maybe next week, probably next week, that way everyone has time, we'll take care of that. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again soon.